Hi, heidi ho, heidi ho. So, message for today. Back to the black sheep. So, in a family structure, when there's a narcissistic family, a dysfunctional family, there's quite often the black sheep who's the scapegoat, and then you've got the golden child who can do no wrong. No matter what they do in their life, they're never viewed as doing wrong. So, they can be a complete screw up, and they're still the golden child. Anyway, the black sheep usually will be the one that individuals point the finger at because, the golden child's never wrong in that family structure. And this may have happened to you. So, like with myself, like I said, my dad, he beat us with a 2x4. And the children I can identify with. And I do defend my siblings what they did when they were younger, because any child with common sense could be feared to death of being hit in the ass with a 2x4. So I can defend them on that point. But as you grow up, so anyway, we're indoctrinated as children, and a lot of the way and our behavior and the things that we're allowed to get away with as children will bring into adulthood. And if we don't kill out that ego and look at our lives and look at what am I doing that may be causing harm to others? Some people can never do that. And some are NPCs. So anyway, like I said, with the dyslexia, my siblings would beat up on me and stuff, and then when I was fending for myself, fending them off, then our dad would come in and he would see us fighting, and they would all point the finger at me because they didn't want to get their asses busted, and they were young just like I was. So I don't blame them when they were little for that. But they took it into adulthood and wanted to carry the same silliness. But that's an indoctrination that goes into your subconscious mind and your long-term memory. And it's programming. You're being programmed, but you're also you can program yourself as a child by your own behavior and what you're allowed to get away with as a child. So anyway, as adults, and it's society itself is dysfunctional, because that's how the Epstein class, the parasites, not yeah, we won't call them the elite because they're parasites. There's nothing elite about them. They're just elite at manipulation and racketeering. That's all. So anyway, they know these things. They know that traumatized children will sometimes traumatize their children, and it's a generational curse. It goes on. So anyway, they push this stuff because, so with women, they push this your body, your choice, freedom of choice thing. Well, it is freedom of choice, but freedom of choice starts with spreading your legs. It starts with your promiscuity. Base wants are base needs. So we need intimacy between a man and a woman to continue with the species. But being promiscuous, that's a base want. That's not a need. And then expecting a doctor to perform things to take care of your responsibility is wrong. So anyway, the parasites, the plutocrats, the Epstein class, they know this stuff. So back in the day, they pushed women to pick up their torch of freedom, which is cigarettes, and smoke cigarettes because they were claiming their torch of freedom. They pushed women to have their freedom and work outside the home. And, that's okay. If a woman wants to work outside the home, that's okay. But they destroyed the nuclear family. They destroyed the family by sending both the mother and the father outside of the home. They destroyed the children. And then the children are left in the care of others, or one parent is here, one mother is here, and the father is there, and then they did the whole. And it doesn't have anything to do with the color of your skin, for those of you that want to use that excuse. Because every race, every hue has been enslaved at some point in time. You got the Barbary Coast slave trade, where Caucasian Europeans were being sold to Africa. And then you have darker skinned Africans that were being brought here and sold. So, and you've got the different Asian nations that were selling slaves. And anyway, None of that works with me. But they push that crap because they know. So people act and behave a certain way because of their indoctrination as their childhood and what they're told to believe. So kind of like I keep saying with the Sneetches, we have a star on ours and you don't have a star on yours, so you're not a part of our club. So anyway, that's the whole thing with the scapegoat, and you have to start looking at people for who they tell you they are. And it's not to say people can't change, because people can change. It's killing out the ego of the beast. Looking at yourself and actually reflecting and trying to strive to a higher spiritual plane of existence, a higher vibration. Heading towards what most know as God and I know as Ma'im Abba. Some say all, the all. Some say Allah, Hashem, Adonai. All the different religions believe in pretty much the same things. And unless you really know the other religions, you can't 100% say you know what they believe in. You can guess, but there's a whole reason why we're not supposed to make images, because then people start making guesses that are wrong. But anyway, that's the message for today. What happened to us in our childhood is not something we have to bring into adulthood. It's something we can recognize, and we can recognize in others. Okay, this is a type of individual who has these issues, and I need to stay away from that individual. There's nothing wrong with that. That's protecting your own sanity and peace. God bless. Much love.